Hey guys, I think this is one of the most powerful Saryn builds. It's tough to say which is the most powerful, like this first one or the other one I'm about to show you. I'd say offensively, and if you want to be mobile, run around a lot, this one, and defensively for camping and going to level cap, the one later in the video. So basically, Zatar's Whisper, let me just show you what it does rather than telling you, right? We're priming our targets a bit with some magnetic, killing them to draw them all in, and then Sobek and Zatar's Whisper, right, have a weird interaction that just kills everything in seconds. Just shoot once. Okay, our Sentinel is also going off and killing things because we've created clones of the Sentinels that go and kill on their own. Yeah, so extremely powerful build. Quite tanky through shield gating and rolling guard, quite forgiving through that as well. And Naramon ups our damage to insane levels as well. With Melee Vortex, we're drawing a lot of enemies in, and we're also confusing the hell out of them with radiation procs. And here's what I mean about the Sentinel. It's just, oh my god. It's just so funny. Just overpowered. Basically one-shotting 215, or like, these are 190 because we're in this simulacrum. Steel Path enemies, Steel Path heavy gunners, no less. Like, I don't know what else to spawn in here of all the things I've scanned that can show you, like, that's tougher. Actually, I tell you what, we'll just let our Sentinels do the work. Okay, I wanted to prime them for the Sentinels, but they're just so weak to this build. I don't know. Okay, here, let's let the Sentinels do something. Spawn some more clones, spend 100 energy and you get a Sentinel. Look at that! What the hell? It's just nuts. It's just so nuts. What's also crazy about it is that they spread status to all the enemies. Like, as if this build wasn't powerful enough, right? Okay, yeah. So, this is one to try out. Zatar's Whisper subsumed over her 4. Way more powerful than it seems. It doesn't just give you extra void damage, it also replicates your shots. And with acid shells on the Sobek, that's quite a big deal. A lot of people have commented on this niche that Sobek acid shells and Zatar's Whisper have, going along with Toxic Lash and Spores. Yeah, here's the build. Don't want to talk too much about it, I talk more about the other one. Basically, it works really well. This is your primary line of defense, shield gating. Get a really nice amount of shield for every molt cast, for instance, and you're distracting the enemy. And Spores also grants you a little bit. You actually don't need overextended. Like, some people swear by it, but you get 100 meters just with 175% range. And when you're at like 230, you only get an extra 30 meters or 25 meters. So I found this is the best. Strength, especially boosted by Molt Augmented, is just crazy. You get insane levels of damage buffs. Yeah, it's so good, honestly. You have to try this build. Decimates, exterminate missions and those types because of the chain reaction with Sobek. The Sobek build is basically the same as you see later on in the video. Same for Zakti, except that what I've done is swap out the suppress on both of these for auto load, and Vastalok also the same. One last thing I do want to show you that's even more possible, and this is the reason I've put Arcane Trickery, because stealth is the best defense, as we all know. When you're playing Naramon, you can prime enemies for immediate finishers, but your Zakti also does that. So, spawn some enemies. Have them shoot at our clone, hopefully. And you can't start a finisher when they're downed. Okay. So what you do is you activate 2, and then it opens them up to finishers like that. And you can even start the finisher from operator mode. You do want to have already primed them before starting it, but there you go. We can start a chain now of executions because they're all primed for finishers. And there we go, Arcane Trickery. Your stealthed, hard-hitting motherfucker. Right? It's just crazy. This build has it all, right? Stealth, damage, tankiness. The only thing it can't deal with is mobs that do toxin damage, which are extremely rare, and you do have a chance through status cleansing to immediately cancel the toxin proc, but that is the one weakness of the build, because you're not a health tank, you're a shield gate, but tons of frames have that exact same issue. Yeah, so that's really what I wanted to show you today. 2 unique Saryn builds that can do so much, can go to level cap quite comfortably, and are just super fun to play. Hey guys, I think this is the most fun Saryn build. It's close to the other one, but if you're just feeling like chilling and stealthing, stealth is the best defense, then the Ivara Subsume and this combo with Zakti, Vastilok, Melee Vortex, and Sobek is just insane, and you need to try it. So we are of course using Venom Dose for a lot of extra damage. We're using Toxic Lash to pop spores and for a lot of extra damage. And as you can see here, we're getting clones of our dogs. We have like 4 clones of them, and we're getting Melee Tandem, or Tandem Bond to activate. Distracts the enemy as well, which is really nice. So you just chill with your stealth, shoot them, pop spores, activate Melee Vortex, and fire away with your Sobek, and they just all blow up. They just all die. It's so much fun, honestly. It's crazy. Yeah, and your dogs go nuts. And you have energy for days through like Arcane Energize or Equilibrium. If you want, you don't even need Arcane Energize, because I know a lot of people find 1200 plat is not the easiest thing to get, or didn't farm the Gargoyle event. So yeah, Steel Path enemies just melt like nothing, and it's a lot of fun to play. What can I say? You just have to micromanage your buffs and watch them melt, right? Get a magnetic proc, and then they all bunch up together, and then you nuke them with Sobek. They're all dead. Okay, almost all dead. You can shield gate, it's not an issue. So you're kind of immortal with Saryn as long as you keep the energy running. Can also use Vazarin, as I've shown in a lot of my videos as well, for actual immortality that doesn't run out. And yeah, we're using Naramon here, so that we can like levitate the enemy, but also we can perform finishers at any time, which is super nice because it makes our pet go stealth, and you're immortal while you're performing finishers, so that's quite fun. More than that though, with Naramon, the thing that's amazing about Naramon is you get 200% weapon damage on your actual weapons. So hope you're seeing like how tanky and versatile this is. Let's pop spores on them. Okay. And somehow they found us. I don't quite know how that happened. Okay, they all popped together. They stop attacking you once you're stealthed in this bubble. Yeah, it's just super fun. Okay, I'll show you the actual build now. They just smell like nothing. It is a little bit high maintenance with all these crazy buffs, like lethal levitation for 200% more damage, 4 stacks, but you get it easily with the glaive and lethal levitation. Toxic Lash and then Venom Dose even fell off there because I'm not used to running this rotation. Just like don't play Saryn that much, but this is a really fun way to play her. Okay, Cloak Arrow is also like with this build, it's like 18 seconds or so. Yeah. Ah, you can fire different ones. That's what that was. So if you hold it down, it fires a noise arrow. Oh, that's dope. It will distract enemies. Let's show you that. Okay. So the tap fires the area stealth, and then the hold fires distraction, right? Weapons of mass distraction. And now we will kill him with a heavy attack, group them all up, and fire our Sobek. Prime him with spores, of course. Yeah, just look at this. It's kind of low investment as well. Like I said, you can use Equilibrium instead of Energize. And let's actually show you the builds now, okay? So, Subsume Quiver over her 4 is the first big thing. And you'll want a decent amount of range to get Bubble Radius range and 100 meters on spores. I didn't go nuts like some people do with overextended, because then we're doing much less damage through the buff from spores. Venom Dose, you hold it down to buff yourself, and Toxic Lash. And I also went, I tried out Molt Augmented. It is actually better than Arcane Strike, so I'll go back to that. Also cheap Arcane, like 100 plat. And like I said, you can run Equilibrium, super cheap mod. You would just put it over, like, I don't know, maybe even Rolling Guard. You don't really need it if you keep your energy up. It's just a kind of lazy shield gate. Yeah, put Equilibrium over Rolling Guard if you don't have Arcane Energize, and then maybe put like Arcane Strike here instead. Let's actually show you that instead of talking about it. So can I fit it in? I can't fit that rank in, so let's use that rank. And yeah, and the Sobek build is this, right? I'm not using a Riven deliberately because I know some people just don't have one. Yeah, Viral Electric is the basic idea, right? So we'll put that there. Chilling Grasp and Electric. Prime Charge Shell if you have it, or just Charge Shell. And you can run either Dexterity or Vendetta charge, like gives you the full charge on 1 kill as long as you're within 5 meters of the target. Both really, really nice. Yeah. Like Critical Decel does way more on the Kuva Sobek. You can't really run a Riven then on the Kuva Sobek because it only has 1 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. Like I said, the normal Kuva, like the normal Sobek is also great. Acid Shells is like what makes it out of this world. And if you do get the Kuva Sobek, not necessarily worth buying a Riven unless you know, have crazy amounts. Yeah, Silent Battery is also super helpful in the stealth bubble because enemies won't see us. And yeah, it's just a great build. Chilling Reload instead of the status, cold status one, because we're firing so many shots and we're firing really quickly. You don't need that much status. But yeah, this is just the build I'm running for now. I'm sure you can like DPS optimize it on like overframe.gg. It has its own calculator that you can use if you want. The basic message is like use acid shells, use the galvanized mods. I went for some attack speed or fire rate, I mean, and viral just works really, really well with unarmored targets, and like I said, silent battery for the stealth. But yeah, these are also up to you. Like if you wanted to go radiation, you could. I would just advise viral, definitely. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Zacti we're using to prime both for finishers and with magnetic. And this is the build we're using. Just forget about the Riven because it's only giving us like flat damage. Secondary dex to give yourself some nice combo duration, although we're running Naramon, so not really necessary. You could run something else. You could run like secondary encumber, that would be really good here as well. Really nice for some dodge speed. So when you're rolling, if you use rolling guard, you instantly roll and have the full 3 seconds to shoot. And like I said, it opens enemies to finishers. Gas clouds is a little bit ambiguous, so I've stuck with gas and magnetic and have very, very good status chance here. If you want, then stick some galvanized mods on. Wouldn't go for headshots, but you could go for like diffusion instead of amalgam, especially if you don't have that. And yeah, let's put this on instead of the damage. Although the multi-shot does give you a lot more effective status chance because you're firing more, right? This is still, once you land a few kills, giving you a similar amount, even though the stats say otherwise. Yeah. So moving on from Zacti, we have the Vastilog. Now, when you shoot a target with the Zacti, it'll explode and become vulnerable to finishers. You don't want to be in the blast radius unless you have Primed Sure-Footed or Handspring or Unairu. Could also run Unairu with Poise to become completely immune to slow, stagger, and knockdown effects. I chose the 200% more damage with Naramon through Lethal Levitation, and that is also amazing CC. It's really good. Killer's Rush also gives you a nice, huge amount of crit chance on your melee, and Sling Stun also opens up to finishers. I just really like Naramon, Unairu. They're really cool. Vazarin. Like, everyone knows Madurai for the Void Strike, but yeah. So let's actually show you the Vastilog build. Now, we're running Melee Vortex, so you kill any enemy or kill 2 at once, and it has an almost guaranteed chance, like once you kill 3, to pull in all enemies within 20 meters. 20 meters is a huge radius, right? Might not sound that big, but it is. So we're running both Weeping Wounds, Blood Rush, Gladiator Vice, and Gladiator Might for a total of an insane amount of crit. Once we hit 12 times combo, this goes to like almost guaranteed orange crits, and the status also goes through the roof. So we're priming with and hitting a lot with electric and viral, like multiple times. It's like way over 100, 200%. So 440% more added to this, so a lot. We do have a little protection in case we whiff our Tennokai heavy attack. Doesn't happen too often. Something you need to know about aiming the melee attack, right? So when you're aiming with your gun, because you want to shoot things in the distance, if you then activate your Vastilog, let's say, and you're holding down your E button, it's going to send you into outer space, right? It's going to send you forwards or backwards. Now to cancel that, you want to press the aim button again, and then you just get this combo, which is really nice. This is just 1.3 speed. I find it quick enough, but you can use Arcane Strike or Primed Fury to make it even quicker. Fires 9 bullets, all of which can proc status. Super good. Let's see it in action one last time now that you've understood the theory of the build. And then I'll let you get to it, right? Pop some doggos. I have 4 doggos. And our stealth bubble. 18 seconds. Pop spores. You see they're vulnerable to finishers, right? So for some reason that one didn't grunt us, but that one got us. Melee Vortex, and now we're just shooting them with the Sobek, and they're all exploding. Yeah, super duper fun in my opinion. And this is the loadout for Diriga. I won't explain it, but it's just super good. Vacuum, Regen, Duplex Bond, Momentous Bond, Guardian, Arc Coil, Manifold Bond, Animal Instinct, Contagious Bond, and Electropulse. I will just say one. Yeah, you can also fit Galvanized mods on. So these are the Sentinel mods. Basically, you want to go for Heat, Radiation, Viral. Could also go Cold with Shivering Contagion if you want your enemies to be slowed down. That would be super useful as well, but I've gone for pure damage here. So yeah, you can definitely set aside another config though with like Radiation, Cold, Corrosive if you prefer that. Can also be done. And then you grant your pet a lot of extra damage every time you use a heavy melee attack. And Momentous Bond every time you kill an Eximus also grants you a lot of damage to all of your pets, all of your clones. And you res your pet super fast, like reduces companion recovery by 18 seconds, right? It has a standard respawn timer of 60, so you only have to kill like 2 or 3 most of the time, and it'll be back up on its feet super fast. Hunter Synergy and Bite are the biggest investment here. You need both if you're going to use the basic Sobek with the mods that I had to get your crit chance over 50% for Tenacious Bond to proc, which grants you 120% final crit damage multiplier on all your weapons. So that's the primary shotgun, the pistol, and of course your gunblade. That's where you need it most. Some enemies, especially towards level cap, start becoming quite chunky. So what you want to do is you hit them like once or twice with your gunblade, which does millions of damage, like literally 5 million, 10 million on a heavy and more. And then you just fire at the few remaining shots with your Sobek, so they die. Synth Deconstruct makes it so all the enemies that are killed pop health orbs, right? Really amazing. The health orbs are counted through equilibrium as energy orbs, so you never have trouble with energy. Tandem Bond, I already told you. Fetch, if you can invest more than 2 forma, you can get like a full rank fetch, which is really nice too. And nothing like a little cheerful Sentinel. You get this from the Zariman, and yeah, it's a flower. It's a cute little flower. Sentinel at Endgame Warframe. You definitely always have Fashion Frame to play around with, what can I say? This thing costs way too much faction standing, but it's fun, so yeah.